8 o'clock on this Thursday, 3 people are in the hospital, including a pregnant woman, after a shooting in Southwest Houston. We are live there from the scene with the latest details at this hour.
Plus, there may be a new way to possibly reopen the federal government. The latest GOP tactic expected to go before the Senate today.
And growing concern among Americans as the use of artificial intelligence continues. We have the new details of a study just released.
Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. I'm Melissa Wilson.
We are almost there.
Yes, we are. Getting close.
Almost there, getting close. Glad to have you here. I'm DeLon Dillard. Before we start the news this hour, let's begin with the check of your weather forecast here today. No rain today, but maybe if you have TSU homecoming plans, you might need an umbrella, perhaps.
That's on Saturday?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, look, we need rain. It comes at inconvenient times, unfortunately.
It is what it is.
There's a chance for thunderstorms too coming up on Saturday. It looks like especially north of Houston. So maybe TSU will be safe, but just Fox 26 weather app will come in handy, I think. You need to check what's happening out there before you leave the house. We want to see more of this, at least some raindrops coming off the leaves, because we are in a drought in many locations now. You'll notice subtle chances today, not impossible that you'll get in on an isolated small shower, but the rain really should arrive for tomorrow and Saturday. About 40 to 50%. Burn bans are in effect for most of our local counties, except for Matagorda, Brazoria, Galveston, and at least for now, Harris County not under a burn ban. We are seeing a little bit of a difference out there already this morning with a few clouds. We haven't had that over the last few mornings, and it's just a sign of what's going to be changing here. Now at Hobby Airport, we're still getting a north wind at 3. That should swing back around to the southeast later on today, which is going to usher in a gradual increase in humidity across the area, which could lead to a few like I said, maybe just a small drizzle today, but then better rain chances heading into tomorrow. We need it because the drought is expanding. We now have moderate drought conditions for places like Kingwood, Humble, Huffman, Atascocita, and back over to Mont Belvieu. We also have some moderate drought conditions from Sealy westward, and that includes Brenham as well. In fact, even an intensifying drought there to the north of El Campo and Wharton. So we would like to get some rain. We have some, fortunately, on the way, at least briefly, for Friday and Saturday. Right now, kind of mild, 79 degrees for Galveston. Most other spots, though, are in the middle and upper 60s, so it's pretty comfortable out there. Highs today should reach the upper 80s again, not just here, but across most of the state. Here's the latest run of NOAA's HRRR high-resolution rapid refresh computer model, which is showing a couple of small sprinkles possible today. Overall rain chance today is about 10%. We'll notice an increase in clouds. So for Alvin, 81 at noontime. More noticeable humidity by 4 o'clock, 87. Heading into the upper 80s around Rosenberg, and likewise upper 80s as we head up to here to around Humble with highs near 87.
All right, let's get you to some of those headlines. A pregnant woman and 2 men are in the hospital following a shooting in Southwest Houston.
Yeah, Jade Fleury is live there. This happened just after 2 o'clock this morning in an alleyway off of Harwin Drive in the Southwest Freeway. Looks like investigators starting to wrap up there. Jade, what's the latest?
Yeah, DeLon, they're slowly starting to wrap up, but still 6 hours after the shooting, the investigators are still out here collecting evidence. And because this is an officer-involved shooting, they have to be very thorough with their investigation. According to police, there were 2 shootings, 1 man accused of shooting into a group of people in a homeless encampment, and then the officer who shot at that suspect. This all happened just after 2 this morning on the 6600 block of Harwin Drive, just off the Southwest Freeway. Houston police say that 2 officers were pulling a car over during a traffic stop when they heard gunshots coming from the alleyway. That's when they noticed a gunman shooting into a group of people, like we said, in a homeless encampment. The officers shot at the man 5 times to stop him. Multiple people were shot. Investigators are still trying to figure out whether those victims were shot by the gunman or the officers.
Now, we did find 3 individuals that were hit. So we have a 28-year-old female that's pregnant that was shot in the lower back and in the leg. We have another male that was shot in the ankle who's 35 years old, and we have another male that's 57 shot in the leg.
Now, all 3 of the victims were taken to local hospitals. 2 of them are expected to be okay. 1 is in critical condition, but expected to survive. In the meantime, reporting from Southwest Houston, Jade Fleury, Fox 26 News.
A new group of people are being warned that they may have been victims of hidden cameras in bathrooms at Memorial Hermann up in the Woodlands.
The former patient care director is facing felony charges in connection to that crime. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office says they have now identified 8 victims. Robert Schrader allegedly placed cameras in the ceiling of 2 different unisex restrooms, one across from the labor and delivery unit, another inside the medical surgery unit on the 3rd floor. Investigators are now asking any external contract service providers who may have used those restrooms to contact them at the email right there on your screen.
8:04 this morning. Let's take you to the Middle East, where tensions remain elevated there. Ongoing delays in the return of hostages from Israel specifically. 2 more bodies were brought into Tel Aviv last night as experts work to confirm their identity. But forensic experts say one of the bodies returned Tuesday by Hamas did not belong to any of the deceased hostages, putting the peace plan brokered by President Trump to the test. Negotiators are still trying to work on the next phase of the peace plan, including how exactly Gaza will be governed in the future. Meantime, Venezuela is accusing the U.S. of violating international law after President Trump confirms the CIA is conducting covert operations inside the country. Trump is defending his decision to strike alleged drug boats off the coast of Venezuela and confirming he is authorizing the CIA to help carry out those strikes, which may now spill onto Venezuelan soil. The country's president accuses the U.S. of trying to steal Venezuela's natural resources and engineer a regime change. Back here at home, we are in the 3rd week of the government shutdown, and now Republicans are floating a new strategy to reopen the federal government one piece at a time.
The new approach will face a critical test today in the Senate after the 9th vote for the GOP funding failed. The new plan offers up longer-term funding for the Pentagon, as well as perhaps other agencies. Experts say the GOP plan is to essentially dare Democrats into opposing a plan to refund the Defense Department. Here's what both sides had to say on Wednesday.
And we'll find out tomorrow whether the Democrats want to proceed to the defense appropriations bill and what other bills we might be able to attach to it if we can get consent to do it.
We have to see what they're going to put on the floor. They haven't told us yet.
And FBI Director Kash Patel said the Trump administration will continue paying FBI agents despite paychecks being frozen for nearly all federal workers. Patel didn't specify the source of where those funds will come from, though. The federal shutdown also delaying an announcement on the Social Security cost of living adjustment. That was supposed to happen today. About 70 million beneficiaries rely on the payments to cover basic expenses like housing, food, and medical care. Experts warn this makes it harder for retirees and disabled people to plan their finances. Of course, they're also dealing with all these rising costs and inflation. The COLA announcement now slated for October 24th. Dozens of reporters left the Pentagon in protest yesterday against new rules limiting what can be reported. War Secretary Pete Hegseth wants to approve any information first. Most news outlets said no way, but plan to keep covering the military.
Okay, keep this in mind as we head into November. Election day is coming. Election day is coming, folks, and new poll results just released indicate we actually may be in for a runoff in the race to fill Sylvester Turner's seat in Congress. The University of Houston Hobby School of Public Affairs, it surveyed 1,200 likely voters in Congressional District 18 specifically. 27% say they intend to vote for Christian Menifee. The number is right here on the screen. 23% say Amanda Edwards, 15% Jolanda Jones. These, as you see here, these are the top 3 numbers, and they strongly suggest, as you see, no specific candidate here would receive 50% of the vote. So then that means what? A runoff to determine the winner specifically. More than half of those surveyed said they have a favorable opinion of all 3 of those top candidates. 16 candidates all in total. Democrats, Republicans, Independents are all running for this seat. Early voting begins on Monday.
Okay, if you happen to own a home in Houston ISD, your taxes are about to go up. Wednesday, the board did vote to raise the tax rate by nearly 3 cents per $100 of taxable property value. School leaders use part of a state law called disaster pennies that helps districts recover from disasters without voter approval. Some schools in HISD were damaged by Hurricane Beryl last year. Other districts in the area already use the same law to increase their tax rates in the past couple of years.
Houston City Council has approved closing Polk Street as part of a $2 billion expansion of the GRB. Here's a map here we're going to show you on your screen, and then you'll see this area in red. It's just south of Discovery Green. Here it is, bottom left of your map. That actually goes under the Southwest Freeway there on Polk Street, and critics are worried that the closure will cut off a vital connection to the East End. Leaders say the 15-year plan will generate billions of dollars in economic impact. The closure of Polk and other streets still needs final approval, though.
A new study suggests there is a growing concern among Americans over artificial intelligence. So all this info coming out from the Pew Research Center says only 30% of adults are excited about AI. The study also finds that younger participants under the age of 35 are most excited about AI compared to anyone 50 and older. Right now we're at 9 minutes after 8. Can you create a voting district based on race? The Supreme Court's taking a closer look at that.
Let's talk about your traffic here before we head to break. Live look at Traffic Max 360 on your screen. Let's take you live outside, courtesy of Houston TransStar. We're going to take you to, I believe, the southwest side here. This is Beltway A at West Airport Boulevard. There is a 3-vehicle crash impacting multiple lanes there. Again, right off the Beltway at Airport Boulevard. Looks like police already there on the scene working this one. Anything major that pops up other than this, we'll let you know. We're back after this.
A great dealership experience always starts with great listening. So the next time you need a new car, truck, or SUV, start with the Big Star group of dealers. Stop by Big Star Ford in Pearland or any of our dealers to find everything you're looking for. We hear you.
At 11, the Supreme Court is hearing arguments Wednesday in a pivotal case that could determine the future of race-based congressional redistricting.
The outcome could have major implications for next year's midterms and beyond. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen tells us all about it.
What role should race play when a state divides voters into congressional districts? Louisiana's zigzagging districts were the subject of intense debate Wednesday at the Supreme Court. The state redrew its congressional map in 2020 with just one of its 6 districts having a majority of black voters.
The argument is at least 1/3 of those districts should be black to represent the 1/3 black population of Louisiana.
Civil rights groups sued and won, paving the way for the creation of a second majority black district, Louisiana's 6th. Opponents argue it's the result of an illegal gerrymander based on race.
The avowed purpose of drawing a majority black district is to diminish the voting strength of some racial groups and augment the voting strength of others.
Section 2 of the landmark 1965 Voting Rights Act bans maps that dilute the voting power of minority voters. An attorney for the NAACP warning the court of what could be at stake if it's overturned.
A staggering reversal of precedent that would throw maps across the country into chaos.
2 years ago, a 5-4 decision by the court required Alabama to redraw its maps, with Justices Roberts and Kavanaugh siding with the court's liberal justices. The outcome will likely be different if either justice breaks differently this time around. The court is expected to rule by June, but could issue a ruling even earlier, which could have a major impact on the 2026 midterms. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
8:13, although grocery price hikes have slowed, things are still considerably high. Coming up, we're giving you a look at affordable protein sources that you can start to incorporate in your meals. So we've told y'all quite often, obviously, about grocery prices being high, eggs and meat prices, all of that. So we're trying to give you maybe some cheaper protein alternatives that you can buy instead. Here to tell us more is wellness dietitian Nubian Gatlin with Houston Methodist Wellness Services. Good morning to you, brother. Good to see you.
Hey, good morning. It's good to be here.
So first and foremost, when we talk about protein, why is this such an important thing to have on your diet?
Man, protein takes care of a lot of the structural integrity of like the tissues that form the human body, right? So muscles, organs, connective tissue, your hair, your skin, your nails, all of it relies on protein. How we hold our bodily fluids, all of that good stuff, immunity, you name it, protein is a part of it, right?
So what do you have here today? Some cheaper, cost-effective options.
Okay, so what we have on the table today, kind of going down from, well, I guess my left to the right, right? We have some lentils, quinoa, we have some chickpea pasta, right?
Chickpea?
Yes, chickpea pasta.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually pretty high in protein, believe it or not. We have some Greek yogurt, plain, and then of course we have some canned tuna and then some black beans as well. So I don't know if you guys can see this one. Open them up a little bit so y'all can just kind of see these wonderful beans.
There you go. Okay, and all of these are essentially cost-effective, pretty cheaper on the end?
Oh, definitely, definitely. So, you know, just as a little bit of some curiosity, just see how much per gram of protein, right? I kind of looked at some of these. So, for example, per gram of protein for like a pack of eggs, right? Let's say it's like some pasture-raised 18 count, cool. I came up to about 9 cents per gram. So let's compare that to lentils, it was about 2 cents. Or we compare that to black beans, that was about 4 cents per gram of protein, right? And when we're looking at that objective comparison there, we do see that it is quite cost effective, right? To add into the grocery list, if you will.
What are the pros and cons though? Are there any cons with adding this, or pretty much just all good things?
So, you know, I wouldn't necessarily consider these cons when you add these foods in, right? When you compare them to the pros. I will say one thing you should be mindful about is that when you're adding in some of these swaps, they're going to be plant-based, right? Okay. And these plant-based proteins, well, they may not have all of the essential amino acids that would make for a complete protein. But you can mitigate this, or you can manage this just by making sure you eat a combination of things, right? So, for example, if you wanted to have something like a grain, like a pita or a brown rice, right? You would make sure that you pair it with a, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like a type of a bean, right? Like a hummus, if you would, right? Or even a black bean and brown rice. After that, you're able to get all of your 9 essential amino acids. I will say we do have an exception here on the table. So this quinoa, this is gonna be a plant-based protein that is complete. It has all 9 essential amino acids in adequate amounts for normal human function.
So you have everything you need right there?
Yeah, with quinoa, with amaranth, with nutritional yeast. Some of these things aren't on the table, but you can find them still quite inexpensive and complete indeed.
Yeah, I've always been told, like someone like me who wants, if I want to bulk up or add more weight to be, I have to really be protein heavy. So all of these are things someone like me should keep in mind then.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. And not to mention the fact that if you're trying to be protein heavy, these are also going to take care of some of your carbohydrate needs, some of your fiber needs. You're going to get those polyphenols, you're going to get that antioxidant and anti-inflammatory action. A lot of things that you're not going to see as much with just like your classic beef or poultry. And then, of course, just kind of mentioning the fish, you get some omegas with that as well. So it really broadens that nutrient density.
Gotcha. Okay. Nubian, thank you so much. Good ideas and cost effective as well. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. 8:19 this morning. Let's check in with Nate Griffin.
It's changed a lot over the years.
Thanks, DeLon. We're here at Shell Energy Stadium, and of course, Jason Lowe, he's the new Assistant General Manager for the Houston Dash. He's going to be joining me next to talk about what's coming up Saturday night, as well as why I'm wearing this. Stay with us.